Hello, everybody. My topic tonight, we're just gonna take a stroll down memory lane to see why we keep going off track. Because it seemed like to me, I've put out so much content revolving around some major points that I feel like a lot of people should be opening conversations for. But when I get on YouTube, it's kind of disappointing to see all the other unnecessary noise that is overshadowing the major things that need to be discussed. Like, it's crazy to me when I first started making these videos and whatnot. It's almost like, let's take Angelo Clary, for example. When I listened to him talk, he was frustrated because people were basically just saying that R. Kelly deserves his fair trial. At that particular time, it wasn't people trying to push that he deserves to be presumed innocent. We were just saying fair trial. That's it. That's all. If they claim they had all the evidence they say they have, then all this stuff they were doing was overkill. So it's just crazy to me. 2 years later, we just still in the same position, and people keep running around in circles and don't see the same pattern over and over and over. Like the last video I uploaded, it was a few people that understood exactly where I was coming from, and it was a sprinkle of people that just felt like, oh, I was just acting out of character. But I just don't think a lot of people recognize the aggravation that comes with a topic such as this. This isn't an easy topic to discuss. So, for me, before I jumped into this topic, I did more research into it to give me more insight into feeling like I had written on my platforms and repeating the same things that, oh, these hoes lying and all this and that. Like, at the end of the day, my objective was very clear. And what frustrates me is when all these weird ass people just come popping out the woodworks. I don't know where the fuck they be coming from, but maybe by the time we get out this chat tonight, you might be able to give me a perspective I ain't looking at. Because people that have been with me from day one have heard me say I'm very socially awkward. I'm not very, um, I'm an introvert in so many words. I don't even like talking to people. When I was modeling, that's it, that's all. All you do is take pictures. When I was doing fashion shows, you don't have to open your mouth. So when I'm on my platform and I'm vocalizing how I'm feeling, and then it's all these people coming at me trying to run my platform the way cater to these people because they say they know R. Kelly, or these people because they're fans of R. Kelly. But on both ends of the stick, all these people doing crazy ass shit. So let me just warm up, take the edge off for a second, and just play Hold up. So I'm trying to get this picture off the back so that when I play this video y'all can see it. I got to get more familiar with this. See, I put all my videos out on my phone, so when I get on the computer, this be something different. But let me see. Just give me just a few more minutes and I'll be right back. All right. I think I'm gonna try it and see how this works. But I uploaded the video on my Patreon. Let's see how this works. Y'all bear with me. I'm still trying to figure this out. Oh yeah, I gotta share the audio. Okay. How in the heck see the video? Mm-mm-mm. Troll on all these different platforms and
I want to go on home now because I'm here. No, stay, because we're going to need a few extras in the video. I was wondering about our yesterdays and digging through the rubble. To say the least, somebody went through a hell of a lot of trouble to make sure that when we looked things up, we wouldn't fare too well. And we would come up with totally unreliable pictures of ourselves. But I've compiled what few facts I could. I mean, such as they are, to see if we could find out a little bit of something. And this is what I got so far. Y'all haters corny with that information. What did I say? Okay, now let's get information. I say, who to me? You got some coordination.
go ahead, hit the like, hit the share. This video just wanted to demonstrate why I am okay. This computer is acting crazy, so I can't get this big picture off. Okay, let's see. Could y'all hear the sound just a second ago? Okay. I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to premiere the video that I uploaded, and then I'm going to come back and do the live. And that's how I'm going to do it. Because this is not working for me. Just give me 1 second, and I'll be right back. Oh, shit. Now I done figured something out over here. Okay, y'all. I think I got it. I'm sorry. I'm learning. But I think I got it now. Okay, so I think I got it. So before I start the video, let me set it up like this. Now, if you went through my old videos, as I was saying at the beginning, that maybe when I run through how I have experienced trying to blog about what's going on, maybe it will give you more insight as to what you see going on if you go from platform to platform, because to me, that is what brought a lot of the so called drama. Because I've heard people always say that drama is affiliated with this topic, but if you went to let's just share it first, because if you went to my old videos and you went down them chronologically, you will notice for a long period of time I did my videos and had absolutely nothing to do with anybody who came out and said they supported R. Kelly. It wasn't that I was against them. It wasn't that I didn't support them. It's just I wanted to give my own perception of this story as the way I see it. So then, after you notice all these videos I had put out, when I got to this one specific video, after I had been flagged by Charlemagne the God and Tasha K, I got I started doing these little conversations, I guess, with this lady, and then I ended up doing an interview with her. Well, anyways, long story short, she was in this fan group. A lot of other individuals who are now on YouTube were in this fan group, and they had their own little organizations going on. Well, it seems like to me that whomever was in their little clique was sharing information with other people, me included. So when they were doing things inside these groups, I guess when they fell out with one another, information gets leaked out, right? But from my position, how would I know this information if nobody sends it to me? If nobody ever brought me this information, how would I ever be able to say this happened or that happened? So I never understood when people would take offense. So let me just back up. As you see, all these videos I had done prior with other people claiming to support R. Kelly. It seems like to me it became a problem when certain things that they would push would not line up with the things that I would come to research. So when I would go in the opposite direction based on the information that I found, it would always seem to trigger an attack on me. Like I've said many times before, they started spreading rumors in these groups that I was Sparkle's god sister. Like, come on. So this happens early on. So when all these people get to coming out talking about, I know R. Kelly, I'm this to him, I'm that to him, none of that shit made a difference to me because I wasn't trying to get to know anybody affiliated with R. Kelly. Okay? So I just want to put that out there clear. Even in my rant the other day, I'm not saying nobody did, but I feel like people who claim to know R. Kelly and claim to be receiving information from R. Kelly may have gotten offended because I'm basically saying that I don't want your information. And the problem people are having in this fight with R. Kelly is nobody wants to respect other people's boundaries. If it makes me uncomfortable for all these fucking people to keep coming at me, especially males, and I made that clear very early on, and the first things these males start to do is start to target my pictures even though I wanted to just be behind the scenes. So when these people again evade my privacy, keep trying to push their narratives on me, and then come to you all with the bullshit that you all seen, what's the problem with prima donna? When I'm just giving you my perception of what you saw. Not in a way that's you see what they doing. All they want to do is just talking about he lied, she lied, did all this back and forth shit that nobody gives a shit about. But like I said, if people had read the documents, which I encourage every single day, I encourage, if you have not picked those indictments up, to read them. I encourage, if you don't randomly check out what other articles, what other mainstream media publications have to say about R. Kelly, I think that maybe you need to spend less time in these so-called supporters chats and start looking at what's going on in the real world. Because like I've said long ago, I feel stifled in this topic because, as you can tell by now, my voice is bigger. The things that I have to say go way past R. Kelly. But what is happening to R. Kelly is politically motivated. It's corruption at its highest level. And it's this crap and bullshit that just drives me crazy. This shit is getting out of control. And what's pissing me off about the situation is this. Like I was saying, Angelo's biggest argument in the beginning was, well, y'all don't know R. Kelly. So then you had so-called supporters who would taunt people like me, saying, well, all this person is doing is on the computer doing this. This person is not going to show up at the courthouse. This person is not going to do all this shit to cause further division. And then they want to turn right back around and be like, well, why don't prima donna want to fuck with me? Why prima donna be over here in this chat but not my chat? Because I ain't never had no problem over here in this chat. But y'all, on the other hand, act like I can't see the shit y'all putting in these chats. So I'm just supposed to motherfucking forget that people been all in these chats from platform to platform trying to implicate me in the criminal shit that they doing. And because I make it make sense to you in a way that it only shows you they are acting out what is being accused of R. Kelly, that's why they get in their feelings. It makes no sense. Nobody in their right mind would read that indictment and see clear as day the government is saying that R. Kelly and his entourage get sensitive information about people, and they use that information to intimidate, bully, and harass these individuals. And if you recall, the very first thing that I said that stood out to me about Musclehead that everybody let come on their damn platform was that whole picture thing. And all these people wanted to justify the situation, and it's cool because they never been in that situation. But as a woman who has been in that situation and who told you exactly how I handled that situation, it should be no surprise that, as I said, I believe stuff like that is what made these girls really punch the gas and team up with these people coming at R. Kelly. I don't believe that means he's guilty. You know, when you make a woman mad enough, that logic is going to go out the door and she just wants some revenge. So, with that being said, early on, I knew certain individuals were watching my channel. How do you think Cash came my way? She was trying to figure out what the fuck Dawn was doing. And what had me perplexed was why they asking me what's going on? What I never understood why all these people were coming to me, the person that don't know nobody, the person that's just over here spouting conspiracy theories. I just don't understand why people were so worried about me and my fucking opinion. Early on, they alienated a lot of people by chastising people for being in individuals' chats because they fell out with those individuals. But what does that have to do with everybody else? So every time everybody fall out with somebody, we just supposed to say fuck that person. Make it make sense. It makes none. But anyways, like I said, as I continue to follow this, keep all these recordings, because as these people don't seem to have common sense to realize, just because you delete shit don't mean it's gone. And what's crazy is if you look around in other people's cases and all across the industry, the feds are issuing out all of these indictments, right? All these indictments, and they're using social media. But look at all this stuff we have bear witness to via social media. It just had me thinking at one point, maybe they're doing all this to catch all these dumbass people because ain't no way. Ain't no way they don't see it. Especially when you go to the indictments and see them referencing things that are happening on these YouTube platforms. So again, when you realize that the feds are including things happening on these YouTube platforms, these people are continuously doing these things and basically just say, I don't give a fuck, like I'm just gonna keep doing it. Why do people want to keep aligning themselves with that? But then when I come out and I want to clearly separate myself from that, I want to put on the record I am not associated with no fucking body because I'm not. Other people take it upon themselves to go on somebody else's platform and put a narrative out. Next thing you know, I'm in a fucking stupid ass murder for hire plot. And you notice how long that shit went on before I even said something about that. So when I watched again, I guess other people have problems with me because again, you insert yourself in stuff, and then when you end up beefing with people, when I said 2 years ago for everybody to leave that shit alone, we still stand here looking at these motherfuckers do the same shit. Same shit. Now, I ain't gonna lie. A lot of information done came out in these lives. And it's just a matter of piecing this shit together. From, you know what? We're gonna just go ahead and go into the video I put together and interject with what I wanted to include with it. Because we gonna make some sense out of this shit. I don't understand why so many people contact me and their biggest question is why am I doing this? What is my objective? What is my goal? How many of y'all remember me telling y'all that when I first started doing this? Didn't I clearly tell these other motherfuckers was out here? Didn't I tell you what my objective was? So when I come back and say, well shit, if all these 30 motherfucking people that say they support R. Kelly was on task, I probably wouldn't even still be making these videos for these motherfuckers to still get on their platform and try to say, oh, I'm irrelevant. Motherfucker, you really don't want me to get on your ass. So you better keep my motherfucking name out your mouth. You better quit trying to throw shots at me. And you better just worry about what the fuck you got going on. Because I ain't finna say this shit no more. Y'all need to leave me the fuck alone. I'm going to continue to report as I see things. And if you don't like it, you might have to stop doing shit in the public forefront, dummies. That don't mean I got a personal problem with you, though. Okay?
I did not come to play with you, ho. I came to slay, bitch.
That was good, but you might want to go on home now because I'm here. No, stay, because we're going to need a few extras in the video.
I was wondering about our yesterdays and digging through the rubble. And to say the least, somebody went to a hell of a lot of trouble to make sure that when we looked things up, we wouldn't. I came to slay, bitch.
That was good, but you might want to go on home now because I'm here. No, stay, because we're going to need a few extras in the video.
I was wondering about our yesterdays and digging through the rubble. And to say the least, somebody went to a hell of a lot of trouble to make sure that when we looked things up, we wouldn't fare too well. And we would come up with totally unreliable pictures of ourselves. But I've compiled what few facts I could, such as they are, to see if we could find out a little bit of something. And this is what I got so far.
Y'all haters corny with that Illuminati mess. Okay, ladies, now let's get information. What did I say? Okay, ladies, now let's get information. What did I say? Who to me, you got some coordination.
Hello and welcome to my channel. Go ahead, hit the like, hit the share. This video, I just wanted to demonstrate why I am so emotionally bothered by everything that I am seeing going on surrounding this case. And the major point is because from the beginning, I've tried to explain to you that I think a lot of these people are intentionally putting this stuff out here and feeding these narratives. Yet other people want to keep aligning themselves with these people, keep putting them on R. Kelly's fans, and then everybody wonder why shit keep going left. All these people want to go to inside sources, have all these behind-the-scenes conversations, and then when stuff starts leaking out, or they talk a little bit too much and their true feelings come out, then they got to do all this so-called damage control on all these different platforms and keep up more bullshit. So you're going to have to excuse my last video. If a lot of people assume that I was brought out of character when in actuality, you have to remind feelings. You're watching my videos from past to present, thing that has been waged against me from the moment I started speaking out for R. Kelly. Now, it's clear as day, R. Kelly has not authorized nobody to talk on his behalf. Yet all these people want to keep coming out here with this janky-ass information, and then all these people want to keep feeding into it. So we're going to demonstrate why all these motherfuckers better stay off my channel. All these people that are a little bit offended when they hear a few socially unacceptable words, go on somewhere too. Because this topic right here is going to ruffle some feathers. Because I'm tired of people acting so slow. I've said this many times. If you look beyond R. Kelly and just look at what's going on, you will see the corruption people like me are demonstrating to you. You will also see why so few and far between will take a stand like this man here.
He led his armed black militia group to Louisville twice for protests over Breonna Taylor. Now the leader of the NFAC, Grandmaster Jay, has been indicted on several federal charges. His real name is John Johnson, and the charges stem from allegedly pointing a long rifle at law enforcement during the second visit in September. They highlighted photographs of that happening there the day before the Kentucky Derby during protests over Breonna Taylor's death. Johnson faces one count of assaulting, resisting, or impeding, which carries a 20-year prison sentence if convicted. He's also facing another count of brandishing a firearm in relation to a crime of violence. That carries a 7-year federal sentence if convicted.
You see, when I incorporate content like this for you, it's to give you broader options to realize that, again, I said this long ago, I'm not looking at this from a fan perspective. However, a lot of these people supporting R. Kelly are being led by fanatics, people who are being manipulated by janky ass people, if you ask me. And if you want my opinion, I feel like it's intentional. Absolutely no doubt about it. And let's just go into why. Because as I said, these people have all of these little backstage conversations. All these people eventually start trying to reach out to me. They start feeding me these bullshit narratives, and they forget that I've said from jump that just because they don't like individuals saying my name, that has absolutely nothing to do with me. And I'm not going to change up my content to appease stupid ass people who have other objectives for why they built their platforms. So with that being said, you will find that a lot of people like to mention my name. And it's very funny that you don't see those people sharing productive and proactive content. It's always bullcrap to incite others. So when I point that out and just try to avoid the topic altogether, they decide that they're going to target me because, of course, I'm going against what they're pushing. But at the end of the day, this shit show finna stop. Even if every single last one of these motherfuckers' secrets come to the surface. Because at the end of the day, I feel personally, if these people knew they were not coming out here to focus on R. Kelly, and they just wanted to build platforms for other stuff, that's what they should have did. But what they are doing, explain to me how all these sources keep coming out. And we're going to cut this shit short. Saying these statements that would make R. Kelly look guilty. And then they'll hit you with, pray. Well, last time I checked, pray without work is nothing. So at the end of the day, these people say things that stand out to me. These other people that support R. Kelly, they could take everything they say and run with it. I don't care. But what I'm simply asking my audience is to keep that shit over there. Because what I'm showing you is that they're showing you exactly how R. Kelly ended up in his situation. From people maneuvering to get to people next to R. Kelly, to people fabricating these stories and running to page, all this stuff put on public display showed you the blueprint and how these people had a target on R. Kelly's back all this time. Wake up. Now, some of these people are just stuck on stupid, and I can't help that. Maybe some should take some trips to the South and see just how the feds use informants. You got all these informants and dry snitching ass people on these platforms doing the most. And y'all don't see that just because they're trying to fish for information and put all this bull crap out there don't mean what they're saying is true. Just keep all that in the back of your mind when you listen to these people.
Why the fuck these niggas wanna go against the grain?
Asked a slightly difficult question of the Biden-Harris administration. Okay, this was Lester Holt on NBC. Very friendly territory, right? Listen to this for not quite the most confident performance of the incoming president.
To clear something up that's been, in the news for the last 24 hours or so, can you commit right now that you will indeed visit the U.S.-Mexico border, and will you do it soon?
Jeremy, let me tell you something. Yes, I will, and I have before.
Okay. Are you aware of the issue?
Listen, anybody, especially if you're from California, I've spent a lot of time on the border, and both going there physically and aware of the issue.
God love it. I'll try and show you the Lester Holt stuff a little bit later because it actually showed a question being asked and then she fumbles and it's terrible stuff and would have been a much better punchline than what I just showed you. But I stand by the photo of me, Trump in the planes.
So let me pause right there and say, it's funny, if y'all recall, how they made a big deal out of Trump inciting the riot, remember? But see, this Biden just did a few days ago. He basically just said something. Democrats just feel like they could say one thing and do the next. They could go over here and point the fingers over here at them for doing this, but they can do it too. Like, that's my problem with the Democrats. Not saying I'm for Republicans or I don't give a damn about neither one of them, but I'm just saying hypocrisy is at an all-time high across the board. So I also wanted to insert right there at that point another reason in R. Kelly supporters being mindful of what he just said is because, okay, remember way back when somebody sent me the information about emailing the judge, and I specifically said I don't think it's a good idea. However, if you can formulate something professional that is supposed to be worded correctly, then I guess I gave you the address, the same thing that was posted on the community tab. So on the flip side, the reason why I said I didn't think it was a good idea, because I also played a clip where a specific judge had used letters that other people had wrote on this judge's behalf because she was getting sentenced. A lot of people had wrote character statements on her behalf and sent it to the judge's address, and the judge took that out on her. So when I gave you my input on that, I gave you that clip as well. And of course, I offended these other people over here that wanted y'all to contact the judges. But again, that's just an example. Another example is contacting these accusers. Like I said before, this lawsuit that I said I didn't think was a good idea. It's just been a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that I specifically said I didn't think was a good idea, both behind the scenes and on my platform. But for some strange reason, these other people out here, they like to have one conversation behind the scenes with you and then say the complete opposite on their fucking platform. But anyways, that was the major point. R. Kelly supporters should be cognitive of the type of energy you're putting out there. There's nothing wrong with requesting investigations for misconduct. As you all recall me saying, I'm not familiar with how to go about doing that. If somebody wanted to put together the information so that we could get it going, you could always send me that. I'd rather people send me that type of information than send me these other people links of them bickering back and forth. That shit is annoying. That's it. But let me get back to the video.
Support Trump bumper sticker, break out the car window.
It was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing.
Cut it. The man know R. Kelly and my kid. We dealt with Russell and my kitchen, bro. All this cap and all this shit, these newfounders, people that's robbing the supporters of all their money, bro. They wasn't around. The conversation may have nothing to do with this shit. Instead of causing chaos, they don't know R. Kelly. They never met this nigga. And if he was released tomorrow, they would never meet him. And if motherfucking he was out earlier, they never met him.
When so I belong to a women's group, and in that women group, there's a lot of people who I am connected to, who are in politics, who's with the federal government, who are attorneys, lawyers, blah blah blah, high-ranking individual women who are movers and shakers of this world, and they're part of this group that I'm in. And so I have access to individuals, casual conversation that I have with them, because I'm really trying to work and trying to find ways to help Robert out, right? So, two attorneys, one is a federal and one is a local one, they talk to me and they tell me certain things. They try to put it in regular layman's terms so I can understand it. So I'm giving you guys my mind understanding of certain things, okay? So, said because of his position and his popularity of who he is, even though they have taken away his passport to travel, he has access to individuals who would do him favors because they love him, because he's a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? So it's not true.
Thank you for this. January 7th last year. Where's this other thing at? God, I was.
See what I mean by world dumbest criminal? How in the hell you gonna take a motherfucking picture and your goddamn silhouette in the motherfucking picture? If this ain't the stupidest shit I ever seen in my life, this the shit I'm talking about. And every time I turn around, somebody want to come over here and talk about going on this person's platform. Oh, this person wants you on their platform. I ain't going on none of these janky ass people platform. I'll sit there and watch though. That's about as good as it's gonna get for me. The fuck? These people is crazy. They have displayed that across the board. Why in the fuck did these people start taking it upon themselves to research the goddamn people supporting R. Kelly, but y'all won't read the fucking indictments? See, what y'all didn't catch me tell y'all a long time ago was the problems going on is problems between Angelo, them parents, and these managers and other people who had their little outside deals going on. So when they got the beefing, that trickled on to R. Kelly. So as I told you, let's go back to Cash, okay? Because, again, all these people let O'Don on their platform showing those pictures, right? Nobody ever looked at those pictures real good, did you? If you looked at them pictures real good, it would have been odd to think that why would somebody take a picture of those pictures from another phone? Is it possible that somebody snuck and had this phone, or just had it for whatever reason, was going through this phone and took pictures from that phone and then acted again on their own behalf? So when I give you an option like that, and then I turn around and these people get on their platform and say, well, Mr. Kelly knew about that. Mr. Kelly, do you not fucking know what the see, y'all is just dumb for no fucking reason. If the government said that this man authorized that man to send this to that girl to try to intimidate her, do you see how this RICO forms? You see that? You see how an individual can go do something on their own accord, get in trouble, and pass the buck to somebody else. It can happen just like that. Am I saying it definitely happened like that? No. But the point in bringing that up was, again, to give you an example of the type of content this platform produces. I have to keep reminding people watching my content that this is an open investigation. And I ain't no dry snitching ass motherfucker. However, if they gonna incriminate themselves out here and it gives the public reasonable doubt to think that this type of activity was going on behind R. Kelly's back, that could also give you reasonable doubt to think that what was going on with these alleged girls was behind his back. So instead of sending me the links of these other bloggers that ain't on task, why don't you send me some of these concert dates? I told you I'm not a fan. People could be compiling every concert he's had, every appearance. Like, people could really be helping me out along the way. Instead of sitting here waiting on me to produce my content, keep sending these janky ass people my way just to get cussed the fuck out. Leave me the fuck alone. Okay? Anyways, all this shit been going on right in y'all face. Everybody passing around information on all sides. All sides. And the thing that pissed me off was, why would you throw me into that when y'all the ones hanging with the motherfucking people doing it? Oh, y'all figure because I'm producing content, real content over here, researching, it'll be easy for people to believe that I'm pulling this information. Maybe because everybody that has ever had contact with me knows that I've said from jump, if you contact me and or I'm researching you about this case, you can rest assured I have researched your background, your public records. Yes. Do I publicize them? No. You cannot publicize people's personal information. Can I give you a snippet of like a specific charge or a couple charges just to give you an idea of this person's character? Yes, I've done that. Have I given anybody's address, where they work, their phone number? Absolutely not. So when I get online and I see this motherfucker over here done pulled my shit and gave it to this motherfucker over there, and then y'all want to sit here and act crazy like I don't know where the shit coming from, y'all better stop. I'm telling you, whatever y'all got planned is not going to work out well for you. I'm telling you. You can delete all the videos you want. I don't give a fuck. The feds need to come pull all y'all devices. Even after you delete shit out your phone, they can still get that information, just in case you numbnuts don't know that. But let's get back to the video. Because as you can see, these women, just because they cry and do all that extra shit, don't believe that shit. This is the perfect example. A woman tell this man over here that this man is just doing all this crazy stuff. They turning people against each other. Turning people against each other. What disturbed me is that if anybody had an issue with me, the same way they came to me, they could have came to me with that issue. But no, they wanted to first publicize it before they knew for sure, and then got surprised with my reaction. Because my reaction, regardless of how many conversation is, I don't know none of these people. So at the end of the day, I don't owe these people anything. But back to the video.
a chance that he could be guilty. You tell the people in the interview that you saw the little girl hanging around the house all the time, but you never ask any questions. Oh my God. Sharon, are you testifying against Robert Kelly? Tell the truth and shame the devil. Because there's no way that they're trying to use information from that case and they're trying to get with everybody. Is this why you came up missing for a while? I'm asking for a friend. Because you know too much not to be a witness. If she did, Mocha, she sure did. She sure did. She sure did. I sure do. That's just an epiphany. Just looking at this stuff right here, because I did. You know what? Now it makes sense. Wow. The judge ain't on right now. Okay. These are messages I've been getting. Can y'all see this? These are messages I've been getting from him. See, April. See? You ain't got to show all that. You ain't got to show all that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to move too so you can put. Hold on. I had to. Hold on, y'all. Don't leave. Hold on.
Hey, Dwayne, Jane. Hey, y'all make sure y'all send me your emails. So go ahead, sis.
Okay. How do I go do solo again? Hold on. So I look a hot mess, y'all. I have been looking a hot mess. I'm sorry.
Can you put a date on that? Because I just
this is June. This is June 14th.
Okay. So Sylvia was out here saying something that means that she was getting, when she said send money directly to the commissary, I'm pretty sure that came from the man himself.
Hold on, I got more. Let me show you all of the messages. Hold on. I can't show you exactly his words, but I can show you from Coralink what it is. Hold on. I look a hot mess. I'm sorry, y'all. You all right? The judge ain't on right now. Here's the next question. Now, is flying a banner considered jury tampering?
Certainly is if you're trying to get the jury to be influenced by the banner. I have jacked some folk up standing out in the hallway when the jury had to go take a break coming up outside the elevator. I locked them up for 10 days. So contempt the court. I let them out after the end of the day, after I'd scared the hell out of them, and I had them come back so we'd have a show cause why you should not be found in contempt. I got the message, and there was nobody else up there trying to do that. So that's because you got balls, you know what to do.
Inside the court or outside?
If somebody was doing that across from the courthouse, I'd send the bailiffs over there to arrest everybody for trying to influence the jury. Especially if they weren't locked up.
Cut it. Them bricks is way too high. You need to cut it.
I come to play with you, ho. I came to slay, bitch.
Hey, Levi.
I wanted to speak with you a third ago. My brother wanted to send a message to you to let you know that we appreciate everything that you're doing as far as, not so much as discrediting people, but just letting people know his stance and all of this. And, again, not guilty in all of this. And he just wanted to say that he appreciates on the other note is, he asked me did I ever find out your real name. I told him no, I didn't. But that you said that he would tell who you are to him once he was released and able to do so. So he's content with that. He just wanted to say to whoever was behind the Levi for Kelly, because he doesn't know that particular name or nickname. So I guess okay, so he just wanted to say who was behind that name. He just tell me
Let me just pause it right there real quick and interject, because the relevancy is, as you can hear, this is who is now coming out. Lily, she's come out before, but quick question: have anybody ever heard me speak on Lily? I intentionally avoid certain individuals, as I said. And when it comes to her, I heard about this whole situation that you're listening to long time ago. So to go back to my last post and why I was so upset, it was because I was given the information that this person had cleared up this narrative about her and this booty thing, and I don't really care about nobody eating no booty. I don't care nothing about that. My whole concern was the implications that would implicate her abusing any of these girls. So when they clarified that that wasn't the case, it was just, again, another situation where I felt like people were intentionally reaching out to people who they could get verified in order to fulfill whatever they were trying to fulfill, get information, turn them against R. Kelly, whatever it is. All these people are systematically doing these things. So as she's talking to Levi, the first red flag to me is that it just sounds like somebody put her up to getting that information, as she said. But I don't think it was R. Kelly. I think somebody put a bug in her ear, try to find out who this person is, and that's how that went. And the reason why I feel like that, because as you can see displayed on your screen, these are the type of messages people want to send me. Y'all want to send me all this bullshit that y'all can't prove, that y'all can't get verified. And then when I go against it, y'all want to come out here and disrespect me like I ain't gonna check y'all bitch ass. And that's not what we're gonna do from this day forward. Okay? So that was the major point. That's why I was so upset. I was misled into feeling like this whole thing with her had been squashed. And the insult to injury was these goddamn Rocco's Modern Life looking ass bitches coming into the chat with all this extra rah-rah. So, of course, that pissed me off quite naturally. I feel like all these people bringing this unnecessary drama in my life that don't need to be, because they on some extra shit. And I just keep asking to leave me the fuck out of it.
what's going on out here. He doesn't care to hear about social media stuff, but when it's something that's good on his behalf, he appreciates it, and he wants that person to know that he appreciates it. So, okay. He doesn't know your affiliation or if you are familiar with whoever the Sharon Whipple lady is, but he has not authorized anyone to speak on his behalf and talk about any type of money that he's supposed to have in his account because he doesn't even know if he has any money in his account. So that was pretty much it. And the rest was just a message for me, yeah. That's it, okay. Let me hear you real well. Yes, I can. Okay, I don't know. I don't know as far as like, what you just basically said to me, I'm a straight shooter, and I'm a very serious man. And I want you to listen to me, please. First of all, everything you just said sounds insane, and I can tell you why. First, I want you to listen to me. I want to make this clear. Okay, please. Allow me to make this very clear. Before you do, let me get a pen and paper. Because I please, and make sure, get a pen and paper. Record it. I can't record. I don't know how to do that kind of stuff, but I want to take notes. I want to say the recording is good. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about none of that. Listen to me very closely. Okay. I allow you to speak. And all I'm asking is that you allow me to speak. Because what you just said, if when you keep talking when I'm talking. I'm sorry, baby. Go ahead. Please, press the mute button. Okay. First of all, what you said to me is basically in essence that my cousin who don't know who I am, which is absolutely insane. It's like someone calling you saying that your brother or your mother or your uncle want to know who really. I want you to listen to me very close. Listen to me very close. But I would appreciate if you push mute so my words will not be interrupted. The whole purpose of this call was to try to create a picture to whoever's listening, whoever's recording, that I came on the scene a year ago with my cousin not knowing who I am. This false narrative was pushed after he was left up. I was speaking with my cousin. And that's every other week when I first started with Alpha Kelly. My cousin knows my name, for one. For two, it seems to be a concerted effort. Now that I'm doing debates with the grown man, now that I'm moving this movement forward in the right direction where we're discussing Rob and only Rob. Here's the word from the DJ Tyson, the bullshit, the boasting, praises, all that goofy shit. I'm doing real shit. And I'm insulted that you were trying to actually treat me like that. Listen to me closely. Understanding that I was told 2-3 months ago that you were asking about my real name. About my, basically, niggas want my social security number. They want my real name, my date of birth, where I live. It's none of no one's fucking business. As long as my cousin know who I am. You look at me and say, no. You have to let me finish. No, let me finish. I will listen to you after you listen to me. I did not interrupt you. I did not, okay, I'm not going to swear. I'll say this. I'll say this. I'll say it to Dana. I'll say it to you. And I'll say it to everyone else who thinks that I'm some kind of fucking fool. brother knows me. I know him. I know shit that the sisters don't give a fuck I know. And you tell fans if what's anything else said about me, I'm gonna put the shit out there in black and white. Because I'm a serious man. And I don't play games.
Quick question. What happens when you unleash a bunch of low budget ass send out girls, throwback Splenda daddies, and J-Bows on social media just to find out all of this work they putting in to fuel propaganda demonstrates how an innocent black man can be publicly set up and condemned? How women can align themselves with stories, get next to people, then flip the script. Neither hearsay nor opinions equal the law. Just let that sink in. Set up, when you hear people say that, doesn't mean they feel R. Kelly is guilty. That's just more wordplay. So in short, if you're on my Patreon, you're pretty much aligned to what I believe is going on and how all these people are feeding these narratives because, in my opinion, as I said 2 years ago, this case is weak and these informants are obviously running out of juice, keep spinning the same stories, just bouncing from platform to platform. Peep game.
If it don't seem, I ain't right back. I don't trust nobody. I just looked at my wrist, I got time today. Fuck it, I'm crossing the line today.
So you know what's funny? Don Russell's story don't change. Y'all remember they said that? How many remember said that? Look at this shit. See, I told you. They think just because I don't be commenting in these chats, I don't be there. But like I said, I watch everybody. The fuck? So like I said, long time ago when they was sitting all on the Don Russell bandwagon, they said Don Russell said he's not in the indictment, that it was Kip. So, surprise, surprise. I wonder where this whole narrative came from, that Kip is in the indictment, that Wayne is testifying, and a whole bunch of other people that he has heard people mention. Same way, the very first time that I saw him active in these groups, he said Greenberg was fired. That was in 2019. And as we see, Greenberg is just now withdrawing. Now, I could just sit here and go after lie after lie after lie. I already pointed out the fact that if you look at those pictures good and hard, you would recognize that it's a picture of a phone. So that should give you some questions to ask instead of just running with all the things these people tell you. See, people take offense when I say I don't want to deal with people because they don't understand. I come from a small town in which I was very naive. But guess what? Life taught me a lot of lessons the hard way. So I don't trust a lot of situations. I definitely don't just blindly go into things. I like to observe people. And if I like to interact with you, I approach you. And moving forward, that's how I'm going to handle this whole blogging about this topic. For the simple fact, all these people, nah, y'all can miss me with this shit. Every time you tell them, leave you alone, somebody else come up with a whole new thing. And all I'm telling you is the indictments say R. Kelly is being accused of soliciting these girls through these people. Now, I told you the way they had this indictment set up, it would be obvious some people are going to be informants. when I read how they laid out this whole extortion plot and the fact that those individuals aren't being charged, that was another indication there's going to be some, I guess, immunity deals going on. All this is going to come out as the trial goes forward. But these are the things that I was giving you hints to be on guard about instead of being entertained with all this other bullshit that makes no damn sense. It's a fact. If you read the indictment, you would notice that they intend to use these Jane Does to act as bad act witnesses, especially when it comes to the credibility of RL. They've already laid out the fact that they know her credibility is going to be in question. So they're going to try to use other individuals to go in and tell their story. Matter of fact, let's listen to what T.I. said, because I think a lot of people looked over what he said when he first spoke out about what was going on in his situation and how most people don't speak out, most celebrities don't speak out. And said these people who are trying to get money out of these celebrities, they can use any and everything to get these celebrities in the court, even saying that this celebrity defamed their character, for example. So that's basically what he hinted at in his whole thing, in being specific in the way he responds to these allegations. So that's why a lot of people side-eyed the whole setup with the CBS interview with Gayle King and R. Kelly.
Hey, so as y'all could probably guess or imagine, it's been extremely difficult for me to remain quiet in light of all the things that have transpired and all of the egregious allegations that's been tossed around about me and my wife. But it's a reason for that. And I don't mind sharing it. You see, if a person does not have any right to criminally or civilly have you in court, they have no right. The best thing they could do is get you for a defamation suit, drag you in court, make you pay their legal bills to get you in court. Now, I mean, at this point, man, it's at the point where that don't even matter to me no more, okay? But that's the motive, that's the strategy, that's the intention. Say a whole bunch of false stuff about you that get people to believe and make them come out and say, they're a liar, they're a liar, they're a liar. And then they can say, see, they call me a liar. That's defamation. Then they drag you in court, get you under oath and all that. Because unfortunately right now, it doesn't matter as much what they can prove you did. It matters what you can prove you did. You know what I mean? And that's just an unfortunate place that our society has made it to. But I want to be clear about one thing. Women who have been victimized deserve to be heard. Women, black women in particular, should be supported, protected, defended, and uplifted. However, evil has no gender. People with evil intentions have no gender. A threat comes in all shapes and sizes. I would never treat a woman the same way I would treat a threat. All right?
Tell the truth about me. Tell the truth about me and apologize, and I'm gone. Oh, no, I'm done. Apologize, and I'm gone. And here's the other stipulation. Do it within 7 days. Do it within 7 days. Within 7 days, tell the truth and apologize, and I'm gone. If I gotta keep drawing this out, if I gotta keep stepping away from my motherfucking bread, I gotta keep stepping away from my $12 million fundraise. My $12 billion fundraise. If I gotta keep stepping away from my desk to answer these phone calls, just do it what you have to do. Apologize, and I'm gone.
You know what's crazy? I made this point to somebody else about the hypocrisy surrounding R. Kelly. Now, the government is saying that because R. Kelly recruited these girls at his concert, they say he should forfeit his assets. That's what I was pointing out a long while ago. This forfeiture of assets. That's something that stood out to me. Now, you know what's crazy about that? It's typical when it comes to urban crimes for the government to want to seize assets, of course. But do you think they finna go over here and seize these banks, these casinos, these colleges, all these things that have been funded by the mob? Like we could really go down this road if we want to start dishing out accountability. But we know that's not gonna happen. So what is the real objective? Why is it all these artists come to the same conclusion when it's time to get their masters, these people have to get them out of their way? Whether it's drugs, whether it's jail. Why is that? Why is it, if you think about the past, how many of you remember that the artists from the past, the rappers, they were more thought of as being basically living a fake life, living a fake persona. But now you look on Twitter and Instagram, all you see is these gangbangers everywhere. Like, is that a requirement to get a record deal? You got to be a gangbanger? And then they're going to come hit you with a RICO? I just don't understand how R. Kelly can be in the same bracket as a mob boss, a drug lord. So that's what had me down this money trail. And the very first thing I came across was associated to the same Brian Nix that another individual said is going to be handling the money because Greenberg was fired. This Brian Nix ended up with $500,000 from a promoter in Minnesota. And apparently it was some shady business going on because that promoter couldn't get their money back. However, the attorney, Linda Mitch, the same attorney who cut the check for JP, was involved with this as well. But guess what? I don't see Brian Nix indicted. I don't see Linda Mitch indicted. It just don't make no sense. Go through random RICO indictments and notice the difference between R. Kelly's indictment and other people. Usually there's a list of individuals in a RICO. Usually there's specific dates, times of these incidents. This whole thing is absolutely absurd. And maybe that's the real reason why so many don't want you reading this paperwork. I watched this lawyer break down the indictment the other day, and it's very similar to how I broke it down in Patreon. The only difference is I gave benefit of doubt. If you heard the way she said it versus the way I said it, you would notice that I'm giving the potential that these people, if they engaged in the alleged activity, they still have to bring the burden of proof that sticky for me is when I look at things going on social media, which is why I want to adamantly put out there I have nothing to do with none of these R. Kelly supporters that these people are now blogging about, trying to put as an enterprise or trying to say like R. Kelly has us doing anything on his behalf. No, no, no. Mm-mm-mm. That's been the number one issue I've had with R. Kelly supporters is, first of all, you got to recognize the concept of blogging. Just because you're blogging about R. Kelly don't mean you have the right to evade people's personal space and privacy, etc. But anyways, I'm glad you mentioned Sam Cooke, Queen Bee, because that's another person that when I saw Netflix come out with their little docuseries about him, it just, stuff like that bothers me because if you just think about all of our history, it's like all of our stuff is being whitewashed. Whitewashed. How many of you brown skinned, melanated people still know people with that damn white Jesus sitting on their wall? It's like we've been programmed to be submissive to this clay figure. We've been programmed to follow all these traditions. We've been programmed to obey, comply. Why? But then when it comes to, let's say, impoverished people or people who are not as fortunate as others, when they have an opportunity to go into the industry, for example, and they are exposed to all this money, this luxurious life, the women, the drugs. Why is it that a corporation can use that same thing that they put in front of these people and use that against them? So with that being said, what if these girls that had did all this to R. Kelly had did what the lady did to Sam Cooke? When you had people like Aretha Franklin saying that Sam Cooke's hands had been flattened and it looked like he had been beaten, so it was impossible to fathom that the story went down the way she said. And who in the world saying they're about to get assaulted, so you take the man's clothes and you run out the door? Like, that whole story was freaking suspect. And every time I see a docuseries about one of our legends, it infuriates me to know that they left a wealthy estate for somebody else. And it's not like I give a damn about the estate. It's just the fact that why can't we have generational wealth for our people? Why do we keep positioning ourselves to be oppressed by other individuals and keep oppressing each other? Like I said, that's been my issue with Mute R. Kelly and Time's Up and all these people from Jump, is that you're coming at R. Kelly talking about he's the Rico, but you got all these people saying he's not even in control of his money. How is he the head of the Rico? And he's not in control of his money. How is he the head of the Rico when he is a signed artist? We can go down the line of all these artists. Frankie Lyman. This was a little boy that came into the industry and they got turned out on drugs and prostitution and stuff like that. Like, that is so much. And let's say you go to a place where, like Memphis, which is not far from where I live, and every time you turn around, all you see is a rock and roll legend. You see Elvis Presley or somebody somewhere plastered. If you go to his home, they still have it preserved. They have all his clothes out, just looking nice. They have his plane set up. It's absolutely appalling that we continue to let these people build our legends up and then assassinate them right in our face. It's no different than, I understand perfectly what Kanye West meant when he said slavery was a choice, not saying that you had much of a choice, but in reality, if you go all the way back, there was a lot of slaves that went and walked their ass in the water and pretty much drowned rather than be a slave. There were people that took their life, took their babies' lives because they were not going to let them be a slave. So I understand what he meant when he said that. It's just how it came out. And that's the type of shit that bothers me when they put these gifted individuals in the industry and they know they might not be able to articulate themselves. They know they're not business savvy and they take advantage of these people, and then they turn around and when they use us to take them out of here. We need to stop that shit. We need to stop that shit. And I didn't want to make this live too long, but just sitting here talking about all that, this is the stuff that I like to talk about across the board. This ain't just R. Kelly. R. Kelly ain't the first artist to be done wrong. And he won't be the last as long as we keep standing by idle. We are all we got. If we see wrong, we got to check that shit. Kwame said it best. We have been conditioned to ignore bad behavior. Look at how things went with me. And that's why I brought it up in this live, because it's the last time I'm going to mention it, for the simple fact. You remember when I first came out, and my issue with some of the accusers was, why didn't they speak out before? Well, I can't say that every woman is going to have a voice like mine and or anything close. So just with the experience I've had just blogging about this topic and the way people responded to me and went with hearsay, and other people were able to turn people against me based on hearsay and not have an actual conversation with me, and then other females jump in the shit, call themselves defending the men, but at the end of the day, you jumped into a situation that obviously, if you weren't on the phone with me and that individual, shut the fuck up. It's too many people want to jump in the wrong situation and then have a problem with me when I'm just telling you, I'm the same person online and offline, regardless of who you like to be entertained by. So when you heard Levi earlier say, I'm not with the bullshit, I'm not with the bullshit. You called me with the bullshit, talking about this, and that. I told people last year, even when other people like Dana, when anybody, I don't want to be in the midst of none of this shit. None of it. It's irrelevant. Like, take this woman you see on the screen right now. It's how many women do you think would swear up and down they're R. Kelly's wife right now? This woman has been hosting R. Kelly cruise trips. And apparently in 2016, there was a cruise trip. It took people's money, and then it ended up R. Kelly canceled the cruise because he didn't get his money. This is the same cycle we keep seeing. R. Kelly being in a position of canceling a show because he didn't get his money. And again, you have all these people that are saying that they weren't getting paid, this, and that. How many times does the king of R&B have to say, hey, I didn't get paid? Like, that's some stupid ass shit. What the fuck was these people doing? This is the most stupid shit I ever seen in my life. Like, how in the song, I Admit, for example, the man said he had 20-something attorneys. So the first thing that Kip brought to my attention is when he sat down and talked to him, they had 8 pages worth of shit that he needed to get in order. That included these attorneys. So how in between then and now he done dropped all the way down to the few attorneys he got now. It's just crazy. So much money has come up missing. So much has been unaccounted for. And if you ask me, moments like this, what you see on the screen, all these people scamming and frauding, are things that could have triggered this RICO activity, this wire fraud. You see all these people with these secret recordings. We see all this shit, bank fraud, all this shit playing out right here on YouTube. So, I'm gonna have to check that out. We have no leaders. I'm gonna check that out. I ain't even finna get into that because shit, I told Dana to cut them motherfuckers off a long fucking time. Like, I'm telling y'all, if y'all in the comments knew the type of conversations me and Dana had, y'all wouldn't even bring his name up because I told him some of these motherfuckers long time ago. Long fucking time ago. I watched them play both sides of the fence. But because people thought they had loyal people beside them, it's just what it is. It's not my story to tell what happened with neither party. All I can say is I don't comment on other people's beefs. I don't care nothing about none of the people that came because, again, they asked me to come. They asked me to be a part of the docuseries. And that was crazy than a motherfucker to me. Like, why would I be in the damn docuseries? I don't know him. Like, you see what I'm saying? They was willing to bring anybody around this man. So maybe just a thought, Dana could have been the guy to bring all the attention on, get him to bring the people here. I don't fucking know. But at the end of the day, all I know is that I wouldn't have been bringing nobody around him. And I told Dana that. Like, at the end of the day, I wouldn't have brought nobody, especially at this time period when shit hitting the fan. Nope. And especially with, like I said, when I was in the group, all I seen was a lot of fanatical behavior. And honestly, that seems to be what started this whole thing. So that would just be no. Of course, Shirley, that's what I'm speaking on that frustrates me because Dana got his whole channel. Dana got 3 channels that y'all can ask Dana whatever y'all want to ask Dana, but y'all want to ask me and shit, I'm just gonna tell y'all the same shit. Ask him. It's just what it is. As far as the defense fund, well, if Dana stole from the defense fund, they must have got their cut too because they was cool with it. How about that? That's how I feel. So I said this a year ago. I know I said this. Same way I said the way they keep talking about Dana don't know R. Kelly. I said, well, it seems like to me y'all should be mad at the motherfucking twins. The twins and all these people that initiated this whole interview shit. That's who you should be mad at then, if that's the case. Why does one person have to take all the burden of what went wrong? When the twins said they came around 2015, 2016, so you had Savage meeting Joycelyn in 2015. You had Rocky and Kip talking about recovering R. Kelly's money. And all of a sudden, now you got all these allegations popping up. You got $500,000 missing over here. You got money missing over here. You got shit being stolen. Oops, don't forget he got robbed. Like, all that shit just. So, shit. I battled with myself wondering maybe it's a blessing that R. Kelly is behind bars only for the fact that who knows what they would be trying to accuse him of if he did have a bond. Because look at the way these people are acting now. However, on the same note, maybe they wouldn't be able to manipulate people's emotions the way they are if he wasn't still incarcerated. So it's a flip of the coin. I don't really know. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't have a dog in this fight, so I can give you my realistic opinion without going overboard and stepping over my boundaries. They don't know how to do that. Soon as shit go left for them, they just got to start talking about people, throwing shade for what? So let me make sure. Let's see. Okay, so how many of y'all remember this? So this is one thing that I wanted to point out because somebody brought up Dana, but this is shit I was talking about. I told Dana, same way I seen this lady over here in this little secret private chat with this guy who's raising all this hell about the defense fund. You're in the chat with him and this scamming ass woman taking cars for R. Kelly, but ain't nobody giving it to R. Kelly. Again, fraud. And then y'all sitting here asking why is it a RICO? Fraud is right in your face. I've shown you this many times. These people, how did I get his passport? And then some lady named Sandra hit me up talking about she's Kel's Nations. I done had 3 different people hit me up and say they Kel's Nation. Now, I know for a fact who one of the Kel's Nation was, so I don't know if he decided to use other people to try to throw it off. Don't really care, but at the end of the day, as a whole, I don't support anything that comes from Kel's Nation. But anyways, back to this one. I was saying early on, based on information that was put out, that Don Russell was still being investigated. So to see him emerge on these interviews and then see, everything else that played out after that, like I said, it was no surprise to watch how these people can take fans, manipulate situations to scam them. And that's the cycle we've been seeing. These people will submit information or email me information like you see here. If I don't agree with it and or I don't fall in line with the shit that they're saying, then it becomes a problem. Like this scandal media. These same people will sit here and some of them try to be smart and not share the one that they put me in, but they shared other articles coming from this. And number one, I can't even take this bullshit ass blog Scandal Media serious because they can't even spend $10-12 to get a professional URL. That shit is some bogus ass bullshit and just the type of bootleg ass motherfuckers to run some shit like that. But anyways, this the type of shit they'll do and wonder why Prima Donna don't fuck with them. Why would you share information from this site that you knew took a shot at me on some bogus ass shit? Makes no sense. Why? Y'all supporters, but y'all gonna share shit from Scandal Media, which is going against the person what appears to me you support. Well, I don't understand the way these people move. And I definitely don't understand when people watch my content, watch their content, then come back over here and tell me I need to go link. No, I don't need to do shit. All I need to do is be left alone because this was the number one person who started she was the first red flag and I should have just said fuck it then because this was the lady with the lawsuit. This was the first lady I brought on my platform and did the interview with in which she said she was close to R. Kelly. She's the woman who sued one of the accusers. And I feel like was taking some of my information to do so. But the point was, she also told me that she believed she was misinformed about the fact that she felt R. Kelly was on that tape and that she was going to have to talk to her pastor and all this stuff. So when I continued to see her in the supporter groups and on these platforms as a supporter, and now I see this whole initiation shit, like, y'all just y'all just don't know how crazy this whole thing is. Crazy. Crazy. Like, this shit don't make no sense. How all these people is flip flopping all over the place. And as you can see, my mind is not on none of this shit they talking about. My mind is on the goal. The goal. Real freedom for us. We are not free. That is the point. That is the point. So when they ask me why am I still doing this or what am I gonna do when he get out of jail, I'm gonna do what the fuck I was doing before he went to jail. Mind my fucking business. Who the fuck knows? I didn't come out thinking nobody was gonna follow this platform. I didn't come out thinking that, oh, I'm gonna just start, blogging about this. I came out to feel my curiosity. I'm nosy. And the worst thing a person can do is to make assumptions about a person and not know them. Like I said, I'm from the South and I see systematic oppression. I see all this every day. I've told y'all that I'm sitting here at a company where I've made all this money for, and they want to keep stifling me to be a relief manager, meaning they don't want to give me my own store, but they want me to help relieve their stores for them. And then when people that look like me get on the internet and try to bash my dreams of wanting to have my own food truck because I see I could obviously do it. I obviously know how to do the books. I obviously know how to cook. I obviously can keep my clients happy. So the next thing would get a food truck, clearly. But when you realize your own people will be the first ones to knock you, what does that say? What happened? What question was asked? Let me go back up. Oh, Rodney, I thought you already asked Dana about that. But like I said, y'all can ask Dana anything y'all want to ask Dana on Dana's page. As far as I know, when it comes to all these secret recordings, number one, that's why I don't like talking to these people on the phone. That's why I rather message them. So if they get a touch of amnesia, we can just remind them, because I ain't doing that recording shit. But at the end of the day, let me just give you an example of how shit happened. Request to be put on the line with somebody. So say Dana called me and he might have one of these other bloggers on the phone. And because I don't fool with the other blogger, I might just sit on the phone and not say shit. It might be a situation like that. So let's say if ever you're on the phone call and somebody else is on the phone, same setup. Let's say they're on the phone and they're not saying anything. Either way, those would be the type of situations where who knows where the recording comes from, other than, I know I didn't record it, and it's either the other party's on the phone, right? So with that being said, I have no bone in that fight. When you're too trusting, shit happens. So you knew for a fact a person did something, all you can say is that I respectfully don't deal with you. My thing is, if anybody just ever tell you it's gonna be all right, I'm not gonna hurt myself, and you're gonna be all right too. At the end of the day. Hey, Charlotte Reed. That's because it's hard to go live. I didn't think I was going to get to go live because the little ones have a little cold, so she's a little fussy. But it's kind of hard to get on a schedule with 2 little ones, and it's always noise in the background. So that's another point when it comes to me. If you notice how I came out, I originally made probably 1 video a week, and then I started dropping off, especially when I got pregnant. To me, with all the people that are saying they support R. Kelly, it should have been so much in his favor. You had, even if they wanted to continue doing the interviews, I felt like they should have found more efficient ways to keep the noise from bringing in the distractions. So it was just little things that they did do that they could have tweaked just a little bit that I felt like would have made impact. The biggest thing that I see a lot of content creators don't very important. Tell you nothing else. The title of your video, the hashtags you use, all this is important. In your spare time, if you want to be a content creator, if you are a content creator, look up trending hashtags. You can even type in on some sites your topic of choice, and it'll give you a whole list of hashtags to use. Like, there's so many things we can do collectively without even having to say one word to each other. So that's my biggest issue with a lot of these people. They try to force themselves onto you by any means necessary, whether it's sending somebody else over here and then all of a sudden all these motherfuckers in their chat. Like, I don't get that shit. Why waste your time trying to get close to a person knowing that as soon as they realize that you fooling with these people over here, they're gonna cut your ass off? Like, that's why this is crazy to me. But anyway, so as I was saying, make sure your titles, your hashtags, get you a Pinterest account. I don't use Twitter as much, but I need to start. Facebook was the best way. I got my own hashtag trending. And like I said, coming in, if I by myself can get my own hashtag Tennessee's hottest model, if I can get that to trend for me to pop up, just think of what it's 169 people in here right now. Just think what we could do collectively. Those of you who don't create content and you have a social media platform, Facebook, whatever, put it on there. Hashtag free R. Kelly or just hashtag R. Kelly. It'll come up. those that don't know how to make content really good. Even if you just wanted to go live every day and play his music, even if people wanted to set up, especially around the time when they have these versus battles, you can guarantee R. Kelly's name is going to come up. These are the type of things that you can strategize to keep his name out there without attaching yourself to negativity. We all we got out here, and we have got to fill in the gaps when others fall short. Don't let this propaganda fool you. Don't forget that just because some people do look like you, they're not for you. Obama is the one who made it possible for these people to wage all this propaganda, in case you didn't know. In 2012, he made this possible because at one point, the U.S. could only wage propaganda outside the United States. So look at the way things are going now. They're doing everything possible to try to violate our rights. Even without that, just go to these specific areas where people are often stereotyped. It's time for a change. We can't just keep sitting here letting them turn us against each other. On that note, I'm going to play this song and I'm going to be up out of here because I did enjoy this talk. I might come back, if not tomorrow, the day after, because I did start rambling and I wanted to tighten up a specific indictment to put into perspective what I'm basically telling you. That we can still support R. Kelly. We can still shout it to the rooftop to free him. But I think we need to start letting people see the corruption, if nothing else. Everybody else is waging these investigations against people like Kim Fox. If you're aware how to get these things started, contact me. We can put that information out there. That's what I'd rather have versus all these pointless lives that are just going to keep stirring the pot. With that being said, y'all have a good night. Don't forget, we all we got, baby. A change going to come.
Once upon a time, not long ago, as a little boy would sit on the porch and talk to my mother. How many of you talk to your mother sometime? We would talk about how I was going to be famous one day, how I was going to be real famous and buy houses, cars, and do a lot of sweet things for her. And oh, I remember those days, and I'll never forget it. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to look at me now, look at me now, look at me now, look at me now. I was born, yeah. Oh, I was born.
I was born by the river in a little tent. But oh, just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's up there beyond those skies. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. I go to the movies and I go downtown, and all I can hear them telling me is, boy, don't hang around. It's been long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Listen, and I go to my brother with my hand held out like this, and I say to my brother, I say, brother, help me please. But all he keep doing is knocking me back down on my knees. Never time too long. But by the grace of God, I could stand on my 2 feet and look up. Carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes, it will. Can I say it again? It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. If you believe it, say it. Say yeah. It's been a long change gonna come. Listen, one day we're gonna look up. There will be a black president. Long time coming, and I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. Yeah, I believe it. Do you believe it? Do you believe it? One day, change is gonna come. Somebody say yeah, say yeah, say yeah. Oh, one day, yeah, I believe it. One day, change is gonna come. Yes, it will. One day, somebody will be somebody.
Shout out to all the people in the chat. Thank you for stopping by. All my queens out there. Don't forget, we got to keep holding these kings down. We always gonna stand tall for the kings. We ain't fucking with these justices out here. But just know, stay strong, black man. We got you.